Hello, I'm probably riding my bike. Bike builds are in my pyjamas nowadays. More specifically, my wife's old pregnancy pyjamas, which are now mine. It's finally time to start building my Rune Knightwood frame. I've had it lying in the corner with all its parts ready for a while, but finding the time, as a new dad, is quite tricky. So I've been doing a little bit each evening in my pyjamas. First up, some beautiful wheels, which I got built with Blue Lug. I got in touch with their wheel building form on their website and had a good back and forth with Takuma from Blue Lug Yoyogi Park. After some great communication and chat about bikes and back and forth, we settled on Velocity Atlas rims with Fellow Orange hubs. I'll put the link for the wheel building page on the description. Ultra Dynamico Rose Race with tubes. I had the race carver tyres before, and they felt amazing, but they weren't so durable, but probably because I was riding too rougher stuff with too much of a load. But I couldn't resist these with the pink frame. Most of the assembly is using this cool little tool from Equipped. It's got all the Allen keys you'll need for most of a bike. A few bits from the parts bin with Nitto KT bars and a Nitto stem, and a used Paul seat post with a new Brooks Cambium C17 saddle. I'm a huge fan of Brooks leather saddles, but I thought I'd try out the Cambium this time. Some shiny new bits, some new cranks from Sumo. I saw them in Babylondon's Instagram page and thought they would be perfect for this build. They've got all sorts of anodized colours, and you can mix and match for the setup you want. I went for this mix of silver, purple and pink. It was tough to choose from the array of combinations that you could choose. I think these look perfect on the bike. And some deore V-brakes, the second best V-brakes there are after Paul motor lights, but 1,000 times cheaper, but almost as good. Luckily I had some purple Nissan cable housing left over from some previous builds, and had a bit of help along the way with building the bike. The Rune comes with horizontal dropouts, so I thought I'd take my chance to build up a single speed. I've been wanting a single speed commuter bike for a little while, and this is finally my chance. The green grips that were on the handlebars didn't really suit this bike, so I covered them up with some bar tape. And the big Nitto bar ends. I didn't have enough navy, so on the other side I did some grey. I quite like the contrast. The single speed build was the easiest bike build I've ever done. And we're already out on the ride. Just in time for some signs of spring. Some glorious sunshine, and you can even feel a bit of warmth from the sun. Perfect for a new bike day bike ride. I'll put a components list in the description so you can see all the parts. But for now, listen to the bell until you can no longer hear a sound. And enjoy. The final piece of the bike is this bag from Hungary in Australia. I think it's called the Bachelor's Handbag, or the Hot Chook. Most of my other bike bags are all black, so it's nice to have this bang of colour. It's the perfect size to carry all my camera gear. And if I need a bit more capacity, I can just sling this onto my shoulder and have a bit more space in the saddlebag, which also goes in the handlebars if you want it to. I'm very happy with how it came out. I wanted something a bit different from my usual friction shifter Rivendell's. Let me know what you think of the comments. If you had this frame, how would you build it up? I've seen a few nice builds online already. Now, there's no better way to celebrate a new bike day than to go for a cafe ride. I thought I'd head to a cafe with a few small hills on the way to test out my gear ratio of the single speed. I went for a 40 tooth up front and a 16 tooth on the back. Good middle range. So far I found it not too spinny on the flats, but light enough to cycle up hills. I feel like I've nailed it. I'll keep it for a while. Riding this single speed reminds me of back in the day when I used to ride around on a fixed gear bike. Honestly, I don't really know how I did it, cycling up all the hills in Seoul with just one brake, and I had a much higher gear ratio back then. I guess I was just younger and stronger. But this single speed with a freewheel and two brakes feels great. It adds another bit of fun to the ride, not having to think about gears. Instead of thinking of when to gear change, you're looking ahead at any incline, and instead of changing gears, you just pedal a bit harder, build up some momentum, and once you're on a slope, just pedal harder again. And it's okay to get off if you need to. That's what I liked about my fixed gear before, a long time ago. I enjoyed how simple it was and how connected you felt with the bike. But I kind of stopped enjoying having to pedal all the time. I feel like the single speed is the perfect in-between. Since I moved house, my commute is relatively flat, so this will be one of my main commuter bikes. I might have to put a basket up on the front eventually. But it's always nice once you've built a new bike to have it lightweight for the beginning, with no racks or big bags. Cycling up this first incline, little bit of a hill, with a huge smile on my face, just because it's so fun to be riding my new bike. When you're getting a new bike, you spend so much time thinking about which parts to get and acquiring those parts. You're never quite sure what it's going to feel like once you've built it. You might have some kind of idea from geometry and other bikes you've ridden. It's always a nice feeling to finally get to ride it. Or walk it through this park that you're not allowed to ride bikes through. But by doing this, I avoided a super steep hill and got to enjoy the descent back down. This Rune Knightwood is medium size, and it's sized a bit bigger than the previous Rufus Stone. I'm actually a member of the Short Seat Post Club on this bike. I like how it looks with the horizontal top tube. And with the relatively short chainstays compared to my other bikes, this feels quite zippy. Perfect for a single speed. Some people might prefer to have drop bars on this bike for that speedy feel. But I'm a upright bar kind of guy. And these Nitto KT bars feel great on this bike. They're a nice in-between for some more relaxed swept-back kind of albatross bars. And then almost a mountain bikey feel. Perfect for shredding around town. But I also think this single speed would be perfect for the gravel paths of the New Forest. In the UK, where this bike is really from, with its 650B wheels and slightly chunky tyres. I'd love to try it out around there someday. We've almost reached our coffee destination along this beautiful walking path that stretches from Hyochang Park all the way to Hongdae and Yeonnam-dong. Here we are at Kapi. I just found out what Kapi actually meant. It's a mix of, or a compound word of coffee and happy. Coffee definitely makes me happy. And so does Kapi. Especially because they have my kind of coffee, a little cortado, which is somehow made more delicious just from having it in a nice mug. Kapi also has the best music on all the time. At the moment they've been playing their Ethiopian mix. I'll add a link to their SoundCloud in the description. Some of the songs are recognised already, but there's a few new ones that I haven't heard before. It's nice to hear the music where some of your coffee's from. I've been listening to that playlist all week since. Fully caffeinated, and we'll continue our shakedown ride. Although in a single speed there's less to shake down than another bike build. So far no issues. The more bikes I've built, the more I kind of nail each build first time. The wheels from Blue Lug feel super strong. The cheap deore brakes feel great too. And everything's running smooth. Chainline feels good too. The Surly cog came with a good chart to say which spaces to put where, depending on your chainline. The chain's running quietly and the whole bike's just running smooth. I'm loving it. So I've got to test it out on the flat, speedy paths of the Han River bike path, which gives you another chance to check out this beautiful bike again. These chunky, burly cranks actually match the frame quite well. I was originally going to put some albatross handlebars on, but I decided to go for the KT bars because I thought they matched the cranks a bit better. The only time the gears felt a little spinny was on the bike path. But I still think I'd rather have that than be struggling up every hill. I'm still overtaking some people, and it's better to slow down and take it all in anyway. New bike day is always one of the best days. And I'm actually still on the New Year break. And the in-laws are over. So I've got a chance to go and get some lunch with my wife. We love our life with our twin babies. But we also love our time with each other. And we very rarely have a chance, just the two of us. And there's one thing that she hasn't eaten. One of the best Korean foods that she hasn't eaten since before we had our boys. So I got to speed over and meet up for some delicious lunch. The meal my wife has been craving for months, but hasn't had the time to have, is some Korean barbecue. Perhaps one of the greatest meals there is. We met up at one of our favourite barbecue places, deore. near Yongsan. I love going out for Korean barbecue. It's just delicious, and I love the communal aspect of all Korean food, really, when you go to a restaurant. In Europe, you sit down and get your own meal, and you only really share with like someone you're very close to. But you just get one or two mouthfuls of someone else's, or you get food envy if you didn't order right. But here that's never an issue because you're always sharing. The best barbecue places have some good quality charcoal like this. Really adds to the flavour. And the restaurants have this little chimney to suck up all the smoke. This place has some good quality meat. We don't really meat at home, so it's a little treat to have occasionally when we go out. Most barbecue places you cook it yourself at your table, but here they do it for you, and it's kind of nice not to think about it. We got all the sides with some cold noodles, naengmyeon, and a bubbling cauldron of kimchi jjigae, kimchi stew. Fully making the most of the meal with just the two of us. It felt like it was before children, but now all we talk about is our children and how grateful and lucky we are to have them. Almost a clean bowl club. Just a few more sips of that kimchi stew left. The New Year holiday is almost over, but I'm kind of excited to start commuting on this bike. I think I've nailed the build. I'll just put a basket on the front eventually. Let me know how you would build this bike up. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. See you later.